Hey guys, welcome to your next math lesson. So at the top of first of all, take out your math notebook and a pencil. And then please, at the top of the next available page in your math notebook, write relate division to multiplication. Oh, and you can't see because my head got in the way. Let me move myself over here. That is what today's lesson is about. Relate division to multiplication. Today we're starting our chapter in division. We just finished a chapter in multiplication. So now we're going to relate them together. And the main focus of today's lesson is on fact families. Let's start with some notes. First of all, what is a fact family? A fact family is a group of related facts that use the same numbers. Make sure you are writing down everything I'm writing down in your math notebook, okay? Everything Mr. Dauber writes down on this piece of paper, you should be writing down in your math notebook. So you should have this same title at the top, relate division to multiplication, and you should be starting to take down this these vocabulary notes with me. A group of related facts that use the same numbers. Okay, there's some other vocabulary words that you'll need for this lesson as well. First of all, or second of all, I guess, because it's the second word, equation. Okay, what is an equation? It is a number sentence that contains an equal sign. Now, if I'm going too fast for you, you can just pause the video and catch up anytime you want. There's two more vocab words. First of all, the word unknown. What is an unknown? An unknown is a missing value. And there's just one more, and it's variable. Okay, now a variable is a letter or symbol representing an unknown number. Okay, those are your four vocabulary words for this lesson: fact family, equation, unknown, and variable. Now, today's lesson, as I said, is mainly about fact families. And by the end of today's lesson, you should be able to do two things. First thing you should be able to do is, given a set of three numbers, you should be able to make the entire fact family for those three numbers. And the second thing is, when you're presented with an unknown, you should be able to use fact families to find that unknown. And don't worry, if that sounds like something you don't know how to do, we're going to do lots of examples of both. Okay? Take down all these notes, and then right under it, let's take a look at a fact family together. Here's an example of a fact family. Let's take the three numbers 3, 9, and 27. These three numbers make a fact family. And when you have a fact family, it's three numbers that can be put together in four different ways. 2 ways using multiplication, and 1 way using division. Let me show you what I mean. You can make 4 facts with 3, 9, and 27. First of all, you can do 3 times 9 equals 27. You can do 9 times 3 equals 27. You can do 27 divided by 3 equals 9. And you can do 27 divided by 9 equals 3. All 3 of these facts, these 2 multiplication facts and these 2 division facts, are true. and they all use these three numbers. Let's do another example. Let's say we have 2, 7, and 14. How would you make a fact family for 2, 7, and 14? Well, you could do 2 times 7 equals 14. Make sure you're writing down everything I'm writing down. You could do 7 times 2 equals 14. You could do 14 divided by 7 equals 2. And you could do 14 divided by 2 equals 7. Let's take a pause right now and notice a few things about these two fact families. First of all, in every fact in this fact family, in the two multiplication facts, notice that the big number is all the way to the right, and the two other numbers just switch spots. And in the two division facts, the big number is all the way to the left, and the two other numbers just switch spots. So the big number ends up in the same place in the multiplication problems, and the big number ends up in the same place in the division problems, either all the way to the right in the multiplication or all the way to the left in the division. Same thing here. We've got the larger number, 14, all the way to the right when it's multiplication, and all the way to the left when it's division. The other numbers just switch places. Okay, let's do one more example of making a fact family with three numbers before we move on to finding the unknown using a fact family. Let's say we have 4, 8, and 32. Now, can I just pick any three numbers? No. Like, I wouldn't be able to pick 4, 8, and 45. In fact, once I pick the 4 and the 8, the only other number I can pick is 32, because these three numbers have to go together as a fact family. So I can't just pick any three numbers randomly. I have to pick three numbers that go together. So how do these three numbers go together as a fact family? Well, why don't you pause the video and try to make the fact family and then press start and see if you got it right. Okay, hopefully you just did that. Now you can check your work. How would you do this? Well, remember, when you do the multiplication part, the big number goes all the way to the right, and the other two numbers just switch spots. So 4 times 8 equals 32. And if I do the other multiplication fact, the 32 will be in the same spot, and the other two numbers will just switch places. And now I'm going to move on to the two division facts. In both of them, the 32 will be all the way to the left. And it'll be divided by, one of them will say 32 divided by 8 equals 4. The other one will say 32 divided by 4 equals 8. In the two multiplication facts, the larger number goes all the way to the right, and the other two numbers switch spots. In the division fact, the larger number goes all the way to the left, and the other two numbers switch spots. So how can I use these fact families to find an unknown? I'm going to turn my paper over. If you don't have to turn your paper over, that's okay. You can just go right under what I just wrote. But if you do have to turn to the next page, go ahead and do that now. Well, let's say I have a situation like this. 3 times blank equals 18. These can be hard to find the answer to when you have an unknown. By the way, that's one of our vocab words. So if I write it like this, it's an unknown because an unknown is just a number you don't know. I don't know what this number is, so it's an unknown because it's a blank. I could also write it like this, 3 times n equals 18. If I write it like this, the unknown becomes a variable, because a variable is when you replace an unknown or a blank with a letter or symbol. It means the same thing. It basically means 3 times I don't know equals 18. This means the same thing. When there's a letter inside of a math problem, it means I don't know. 3 times I don't know equals 18. How do I find out what n is, or how do I find out what the unknown is? Same thing. What do? Here's what I do. I make a fact family with the blank in it. I treat that blank as a number. Watch this. 3 times blank equals 18. And then the two, so 18, that'll go all the way on the right. These two numbers switch spots. So blank times 3 equals 18. Okay, Now this number goes all the way to the left when I do my two division facts. 18 divided by 3 equals blank, and 18 divided by blank equals 3. Which of these two here can I use to solve the unknown? The one that has the unknown on the right of the equal sign. See, now it's just 18 divided by 3. I know how to solve that. I just divide 3 into 18. 18 divided by 3 means the same thing as this, 18 divided by 3. How many times can 3 fit into 18? Well, what times 3 equals 18? 6 times 3 equals 18. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 minus 18 is 0. So what goes in the blank? 6. 3 times 6 equals 18. Okay, that's how you can use fact families to find an unknown. Let's do a couple more examples together. Let's say I had 35 divided by blank equals 7. How do I find out what goes in the blank? Or I could write it using a variable. 35 divided by, we could say y. You can pick any letter you want. 35 divided by y equals 7. How do I find what goes in the blank? Or how do I find what y equals? Here's what I do. I make a fact family I treat the blank as a number until I get the blank on the right side of the equal sign. 35 divided by blank equals 7. The 7 and the blank will just switch spots now. 35 divided by 7 equals blank. Okay? Blank times 7 equals 35. 7 times blank equals 35. Which one has the blank on the right side of the equal sign? This one. 35 divided by 7 equals blank. So I just have to find out how many times 7 can fit evenly into 35. And I can use my times tables to do that. What times 7 equals 35? If I know my times tables, I know 7 times 5 equals 35. So 35 divided by 5 equals 7. Okay, and remember when I said how important it is to have your times tables memorized? This lesson really illustrates that, because if you have your times tables memorized, this lesson will be a lot easier for you than if you don't. But if you are making your times table chart every day on your ultimate scratch paper, you can just use your times table chart even if you don't have them all memorized yet. You can use that times table chart on today's lesson, and it'll help you out a lot. Okay, now go ahead and click on the assignment attached below this video, and I will catch you next time.